Good morning, everyone, and welcome on this very historic occasion. My name is Tom Mojone, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the New Hampshire Electric Co-op. I am honored to be here today on a chilly New Hampshire-like day to coordinate our broadband ribbon cutting event. Thanks again, all of you, for joining us today, December 15th, 2020. A little chilly. We have the nice windmills behind us, but we're dressed warmly. We are here in Leominster, where the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative set its first utility pole 81 years ago to celebrate another historic milestone. Today we celebrate the launch of two historic projects, which make high-speed internet available to over 900 co-op members in 4 towns: Leominster, Colebrook, Stewartstown, and Clarksville. I am joined today by Commissioner of Education Frank Edelblu, Philip Terrell, Chair of Leominster's Board of Selectmen, Leo Dwyer, Chair of the Co-op's Broadband Committee, Steve Camarino, NHEC President and CEO, Bob Cruikshank, the Co-op's Broadband Executive, and representatives from our partners, Tilson, Mission Broadband, and Granite State Communications. First, thank you to Governor Sununu for your leadership in creating the Connecting New Hampshire Emergency Broadband Expansion Program, which provided the funding for these critical projects. Thank you also to our congressional delegation, Senator Shaheen and Hassan, and Representatives Custer and Pappas, who were instrumental in passing the CARES Act, which provided the funding to support the Connecting New Hampshire program. I would like to acknowledge the Co-op's Board of Directors, who have provided a new vision and direction for the organization that will guide us for years to come. In particular, I would like to acknowledge the tireless work of Leo Dwyer, Jeff Morrill, Bill Darcy, and the other members of New Hampshire Electric Co-op's Broadband Committee, including Carolyn Kadersha, Dan Senni, and Alana Albee. I would like to also acknowledge the support of our other directors on the board, including Sharon Davis, Brenda Bover, Madeline McElhaney, and Ed French. I also want to thank Steve Camarino, NHEC's CEO and President, Bob Cruikshank, our new broadband executive, and especially NHEC's employees, who not only managed to execute and complete these projects, but also continued to provide our members with reliable, safe, affordable electric service, all during this ongoing pandemic. Finally, thank you to our members for your continued involvement in your co-op. Our members are at the heart of all that we do, and we would not be here today without your continued encouragement for us to do more to provide this essential service. We hope you'll continue to make your voice heard as member owners of our co-op. At this point, I am pleased to introduce Steve Camarino, NHEC's President and CEO.
Thank you, Tom, and welcome to all of you this morning. It's truly exciting to join all of you here today to celebrate the completion of the first step of NHEC's plans to bring high-speed internet service to unserved and underserved areas of the state. Bringing this project from conception to completion in only 6 months was an incredible feat and took the Herculean efforts of an entire team. I'd like to take a moment to thank some of those whose hard work and commitment helped us get here today. First, thank you to the Office of Strategic Initiatives, the Department of Education, and the Public Utilities Commission for their hard work in reviewing and approving the grant applications, including NHEC's. They face their own set of demands and challenges in overseeing this process that I'm sure is hard for most of us to fully appreciate. I'd like to especially thank Jared Chicoine, Director of the Governor's Office of Strategic Initiatives, who made himself available 7 days a week when we had questions or needed to discuss any aspect of the project. Also, thank you to the state representatives, senators, municipal and county officials, and other critical stakeholders who wrote letters of support for the co-op's efforts. I also want to recognize our exceptional project partners, Tilson Tech, which took on the challenge of designing and building these systems under extremely tight time frames, and the team at Mission Broadband, who helped guide us every step of the way and ensured that the network constructed by Tilson was connected to the internet on one end and was ready to be connected to subscribers' homes and businesses on the other. They rolled with the punches and handled any number of unanticipated issues when they arose. Thank you too to Granite State Communications for working under pressure to meet the tight time frames this project demanded. All of you were critical to our success. And finally, a special thanks to my colleagues at New Hampshire Electric Cooperative, and especially to Jim Backus, NHEC's Vice President of Operations and Engineering, who worked with his team at the co-op and our project partners throughout the last 6 months to help make this project a success. Thank you to all. Tom?
Thank you, Steve. At this point, I'm pleased to introduce Commissioner Edelblue to say a few words. Commissioner?
Thank you, and congratulations on a project that is successfully completed. I want to just commend the leadership of the co-op for recognizing in this new venture that they have undertaken here that actually information and data is a utility in the 21st century. So congratulations for that vision and that leadership in terms of moving forward. In terms of New Hampshire, projects like this are going to make an important difference for our communities, and particularly for our rural communities. As I've said, information and data is really a utility in the 21st century. By bringing the capacity to be able to have high-speed, high-capacity internet into these communities, what we've really done is open up opportunities for the citizens, and in my particular case, when I think about my students, the students of New Hampshire. Not only are they now able to find better, more efficient, and more effective ways to really access their education, but we are opening up worlds to them through access to high-speed broadband internet. And this is helping them really right now, and kind of the genesis of this project was around really the idea of trying to be responsive to the coronavirus and the pandemic circumstances that we found ourselves in. And certainly it is helpful in that way. But it's also really helpful going forward as they explore different learning modes, different learning opportunities. And so I just want to thank the Electric Co-op for their vision. I want to thank the community. I want to commend, as was already mentioned, Jared Chicoine and Diane Martin at the Public Utilities Commission and the Office of Strategic Initiatives for their efforts, because this is really a step forward for New Hampshire, and it really helps us create bright futures for all of the citizens of New Hampshire. So thank you so much for letting me join you on this historic moment.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I am pleased to introduce the Chair of New Hampshire Electric Co-op Broadband Committee, Leo Dwyer. Leo?
Thanks, Tom. I'm going to deal with a little history. 81 years ago this month, 300 folks marched down Lemster Street to the field of Fred Barton off Allen Road, a few miles from where we stand. I'm told Fred was a dairyman by trade, but his real passion was the New Hampshire Electric Co-op. In the nearby Lemster Meeting House, Fred and a determined group of farmers and leaders of the New Hampshire Grange had just recently started a new cooperative from scratch. So 81 years ago, on December 4th, 1939, the new co-op, the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative, set its first utility pole in Fred's field. The very same pole stands to this day. It's not exactly in the best shape, but it's there. Back then, word traveled fast that the new cooperative would at last bring light and power to rural New Hampshire at an affordable price. That was cause for celebration for the thousands of families who lived in the dark, having been bypassed by the for-profit electric utilities of the day. Sounds a little familiar. A newspaper account of that time described school children marching down Leominster Street to the beat of a 23-piece band. Residents turned on the lights, all the lights in their homes, and danced in the streets and partied well into the night. The utility system, launched that cold December day in '39, would grow to bring electricity to tens of thousands of households and businesses throughout New Hampshire. It changed their lives. Today, we are only a few, gathered here to celebrate a 21st century equivalent to that long ago milestone, the launching of New Hampshire Electric Co-op's new high-speed internet service. This day, practical necessity dictates no crowds, no marching band, no parties. But let not that lack of crowds or brass band diminish the significance of this day to the many underserved residents of rural New Hampshire towns. It too will change their lives. It is only fitting that New Hampshire Broadband has its beginning here in Leominster, as one day, in the not-too-distant future, this new network will expand to be as widespread and integral to our rural communities as the electric system which grew from Fred's Field. The idea that people in rural New Hampshire towns can be connected in real time to anyone in the world, that they can learn, do research, consult their doctors, keep up with far-flung family members, would have been unimaginable to the Leominster residents of that earlier time. But the spirit that underlies this new venture is exactly the same one that motivated Fred Barton and our other founders. That is to deliver an essential and transformative service to our members at an affordable price. We've only just started. We have a long road ahead, but we have no doubt that we can and will achieve our goal. Tom said we're here because of our members. NHEC is a democratically governed cooperative, responsive to and guided by our 84,000 members. Meeting their needs during these difficult times is why co-ops exist. It's what cooperatives do. Thank you.
Leo, thank you. I am now pleased to introduce Chairman of the Leominster Board of Selectmen, Phil Terrell. Phil, please.
Well, thank you for everyone that came out on this chilly morning to help us celebrate this leap into the future for the town of Leominster. Our community has a lot of good aspects in that it's rural and the people work together to accomplish things. And that was proven in the last speech about the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative bringing the first power pole here to Leominster 80 plus years ago. This year has been a change for the entire country. Our students are working remotely every Wednesday, many of those with less than adequate internet coverage and having a difficult time trying to participate in Zoom conference calls, that sort of thing. So today is historic for us and will help us launch ourselves into everything that this town needs for the future. So first off, I'd like to thank the Board of Directors for the New Hampshire Electric Co-op for their efforts to make sure that Leominster is recognized in this project and that you help us move forward into the future. And for everyone from the New Hampshire Electric Co-op, the Board of Selectmen greatly appreciate this. I'd just like to say that the Tilson group that's been doing all the lines, they've been incredible. They're out there in the worst of weather. They don't give up. They've done a terrific job to meet the deadline that was placed on them. So we can't thank them enough for everything they did. So for everyone that's here today, I'm not a long-term speaker, winded, but thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you've done for the town of Leominster. And as a representative of the board, the other two selectmen are here as well. Thank you very much. Tom?
Phil, thank you. I am very much smiling behind this mask that I just took off. So thank you, Chairman Terrell. I am pleased to now introduce New Hampshire Electric Co-op's Broadband Executive, Bob Cruikshank. Bob?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out. It's really great to be here at such a historic time. Our first utility pole, as was mentioned by Leo, stands as a testament to the strength of the co-op working together to improve our communities. Just as our co-op founders set a strong foundation, we too are building a system to serve members' needs well into the future. The new all-fiber optic network is the gold standard for high-speed connectivity that everybody needs to the internet. As was mentioned by Commissioner Edelblut, students can now reach teachers that they couldn't get to before. Teachers can reach students. The best of the best can confer with each other on academic endeavors. The community residents that haven't been able to get to doctors can get to doctors through telemedicine. A funny silver lining in this pandemic has been the ability to make new rules for how we get to doctors, how we take care of health, how we look after each other, how we check in on each other, how we have community even with separation. We're fundamental to making that not just happen, but to making it wildly successful for all community members. I think our founders would be pleased that the organization that they created so many years ago is still meeting the essential needs of members. It's a real credit to the co-op business model and all of those present that we could pivot so quickly and effectively in this new direction to get our first group of members connected to broadband in such a short period of time. We actually finished the project a couple days early with the help of all of our partners. We have people on the network already. The firehouse is already hooked up, and we're ready to add more folks throughout the communities that we mentioned. And we're building as fast as we can. So let's talk about the future real quickly. The co-op plans to serve our unserved and underserved members throughout the state. To do that, we're working with the many partners that were mentioned here, not just on building, but on construction, planning, design, funding opportunities, etc. Working with local, state, federal government, contractors, and telecom providers is the way to make this all happen as quickly as possible, and that's what we're committed to. Working with our town leaders, advocates, broadband advisory committees, NHEC is a powerful ally for you and for anybody determined in these efforts. Our entry into broadband isn't just news or good news, it's essential news, especially as we ramp down from all the pandemic activities that have kept us so cloistered. Broadband clearly is a service that's on par with electricity and water, and we're proud to be able to bring that to our communities. We're working as quickly as we can, and we're thrilled to be connecting our members to the internet they need. So stay up to date at nhec.com/broadband. Thanks for coming. Let's do some ribbon cutting and some socially distanced picture taking, and with all of our partners present. Thank you.